Hi, my name is Tom Sobczak. I'm a product manager here at Fruition Partners. I'm going to talk about a product that we built for a large consulting company on the East Coast. This particular example really shows how ServiceNow is a great tool for service relationship management outside of IT. This particular customer needed a way to manage thousands of research requests, to track them, to assign them, and also to report on them. They were previously using email to do this. An example of this particular kind of request that they would ask for would be something like a price of a stock over a certain time period. At the core, we have ServiceNow. And on top of that, we're leveraging several applications or built-in objects. Those are email, SLAs, workflow, and reporting. So the request management system is built upon the task table. And essentially there's two inputs into the request management system. There's email, and these are inbound emails. And there's also a way to get to the request management system through the request module. So users can request research work and send it through the service catalog. There are two ways to initiate a research request. One is through email, and that's inbound email, or through the service catalog where someone could submit a request for research. Once that request is processed, it is sent out notifications through email. That begins the chain of custody for each of the requests. The neat thing here about the email is that this is an extension of what comes out of box for the email. So we have a couple different additions here. With these emails, you can do attachments, and you can also use custom HTML for formatting. So we customize that, and the other thing that this does that's unique is that it syncs with the ticket. So any information that's put in the email, whether it's an attachment, HTML, that always is synced back to the database with the request. So you have a chain of custody of all the events that happen with the email and the request. Once the request is in flight, SLAs and workflows are triggered. All of that is tracked inside of the database. The customer had a need for assigning these tickets to the different research groups. So what we did was we took a out-of-box module called Visual Scheduler and customized that. What the Visual Scheduler allows for is distributed teams, individual schedules, exceptions to schedules, and a visual drag and drop interface. The unique thing about the Visual Scheduler is that it's essentially a drag and drop Gantt chart. So you might have several users in your team, and you have a particular request, several requests that you need to assign. This Visual Scheduler shows you the person's time available. So these spots here are available time for person A. This would be for person B and C. So you can see here throughout the day, they have available spots to do work. So if you've got a piece of a request that requires multiple hours of work, let's say 20 hours worth of work, you might want to fill in 4 hours here, 4 hours here, 6 hours here, and then going into the next day, probably 10 hours or 8 hours. So just dragging this over automatically populates and then sets their schedule for that particular research. So as you can see with this research request management system, we've used both out-of-box objects and built custom objects on top of those out-of-box objects to help leverage the platform. You can see here that you can really use ServiceNow for a service relationship management type application that's outside of IT that's very effective. For more information on how Fruition Partners can help you elevate service management to the cloud, Visit our website or give us a call.